Hello. I just did another video. That's why I'm wearing the same thing because people like to point out that stuff. But all right, so I very quickly want to do another one, and the theme or the concept of this video is basically going to be focused around overprotective parents. And the reason I decided to do this video is because I saw another girl's video, and it kind of made me kind of like, you know, like I've said in other videos, it's your opinion. I'm not gonna judge, but I'm gonna throw out my own opinions. So let's do this. All right. So overprotective parents. I have my handy dandy notes. All right. Personal story. I used to think my parents were overprotective, but now that I'm kind of in college and I've gotten to know people and I've talked to them about their family situations, I realize my parents are not like overprotective or strict at all. They are, but not to the extent of some of these other parents. And I can look back on, I'm going to say this like I'm an old person, I'm only 19, but I can look back on when I was younger and think, oh my gosh, my parents will not let me do anything. But I've thought about it as I've gotten a little older, and I realized my parents did the right thing. And I applaud them for that. They love me to the point where they didn't want anything bad to happen to me. Now, I understand there are some people, I've seen world's strictest parents, and I'm like, that's another reason why when I realized my parents are not strict to begin with. When you're younger and everything, like when you're young teens and you want to do something, come on, we've all been there. Or you think, my parents are driving me crazy. They won't let me do anything. Like the smallest thing, and you automatically think they're strict and overprotective. Trust me. Because when I give you these examples, I already know someone's going to be like, wow, you thought your parents were strict? But now that I look back on it, they were just trying to protect me and make sure I was safe. Um, One of the things they definitely would not let me do was walk around the neighborhood all by myself. And the reason I kind of wanted to do that was because I'd see other girls my age doing that. But um, my parents didn't necessarily tell me the reason why until I got a little older. And the neighborhood we live in, it's a nice neighborhood. It's not like upper class or anything. It's like a nice middle class little area. And we've been living there since like I was a baby, never moved around too much or anything. So I kind of figured, well, we know the neighbors, we know the people in the neighborhood, so what's the problem? The thing is, a lot of the older families had moved away, newer families were coming in, and there were incidents that were going on in the neighborhood, like rapes. And I am so happy my parents did not ever let me out of that house, at least all by myself. So, mom, dad, love y'all to death. Love you so much. Thank you. Because I did not want that to happen to me. And another thing my parents did, if I can read this, goodness gracious, it was something else they did. Oh yeah, when I was younger, not even a teenager yet, I would get invited to go to birthday parties and invited to, kids' houses and stuff, but my parents wouldn't let me go unless they knew the parents. I know some, excuse me, gosh, I know some families where the child will ask and the parents will just let them go. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, party, go ahead. But, and I would get kind of upset because I'd say, but they're my friend. And when I think about it, when you're at that age, yeah, you see that person every day at school, you're friends with them, y'all go out on the playground and have just a good old time, but you don't know how the parents act, you don't know who is going to be in the house when you're there. So I can understand that sense of I don't want my child around a group of people who I've never met. So that I understand. I really understand that safety precaution. And like I said, I'm glad my parents did that too. And anything else? My mom, she's a teacher, so it was make good grades kind of stuff. I did do that, make good grades. School was never difficult for me. I did pretty well in school. Now, I'm not saying that I did well in every single class. Chemistry, woo, don't get me started. But like I said, I am extremely grateful to my parents. Now, back to very strict parents. I can understand their need to want their child to do right. Everyone hopes their child will do right in life. But sometimes you gotta kind of cut the umbilical cord a tiny bit and kind of say, okay, you know, oh gosh, it. I'm trying to be careful because I know that there are adults on YouTube, of course, and I don't want them looking at me like, ugh, you're just a child still. But I understand where parents are coming from, and I know it's hard. And there are a lot of factors that kind of go into the overprotective parent thing, especially when it comes to the area you live around, the people you know, how the child acts, which is one thing I really want to get at. If you're a child who, or excuse me, young teenager who goes around, you disobey your parents, you do destructive things that you know you should not be doing, you wear clothes that your parents don't necessarily care for, like, I'm talking about revealing things. You can, I mean, there's some pretty cute things out there in the stores, honey. If you find them, get to the sale rack too, honey. Sorry, I just went off somewhere. But all those things combined, explain to me why your parents like should trust you. I never did anything like that. Now, there are people who have done things like that and they've completely flopped, and they're just fine now. You know, some people just like to, like I said in a previous video, you're young, you experiment and stuff. I mean, it's life. It's life. But when it comes to a parent, I'm pretty sure most parents aren't fine with that. So, and then again, there are the parents who kind of control their children. Like, especially, I know some people who are picking the career they want to go into, and they've gone to the specific college just because their parents want them to. And I'm just glad my parents aren't like that. They said, okay, go where you can get in. That's basically all it was. Go where you can get in and make sure it is in state. So unless you get a scholarship to an out of state school, then we'll let you go. But I think that's basically what I want to get at. Not all parents are as overprotective as you think. They're here to look after you, and they're here because it doesn't matter how old you get, you will always be your parents' baby. You could be, literally, my parents are in their like 50s, and my last living grandparent, she's like 80 something, but she's quick to tell my dad, oof, I tell you, parents, it doesn't matter how old like the child gets, they will get on you. They don't care. They will not care if you hit 18, or they don't care if you hit 30, 50, or if you're in your 70s and your parents are still alive. That is a blessing. Definitely. They don't care. You will always be their little pumpkin pie. So that's all I wanted to say. Like I said, I'm grateful for my parents for being the overprotective parents that they were. And I think I've turned out into a very lovely young lady. That was so conceited. All right, y'all. God bless. See you later.